Well, folks, what a difference a week makes in politics. On March 13th, 2025, South Africa's ambassador to the United States, Ibrahim Rasool, stepped on his crank in a Zoom session when he denigrated the President of the United States and America in an egregious breach of diplomatic protocol. Now, initial outrage from all corners in South Africa was directed at Trump, not at Rasool. However, a week later, as Ibrahim Rasool prepares to leave on a jet plane, the mood has shifted significantly, at least among the adults in the room. Among those adults, one finds the Times Live. A sampling of news stories this week shows the path back to objectivity and reason that has prevailed at the Times Live this week on this topic. He crossed the line that we can't defend. Ibrahim Rasool's own goal. South African officials say ambassador's expulsion was justified after the attack on Trump. This from March 16th. That's the first article we find in Times Live. Begins to balance out the story about what actually happened here. This was followed up with an editorial at the Times Live. Diplomacy and representation require restraint at all times. Ibrahim Rasool, the now former ambassador to the U.S., made comments that even the country cannot rally behind or defend. That editorial is from March 17th, a day later. In it, they said the principle is simple. Being a representative comes with responsibility. Your frustrations, lapse in judgment, overindulgence, and prejudices should not overrule professionalism and ethics. This is important in any career field, especially in environments that contribute to matters of national interest. As an example, the country's diplomatic relations with the U.S. are worsening after Ibrahim Rasool, now South Africa's former ambassador to the U.S., made comments that even the country cannot rally behind or defend. This after he accused U.S. President Donald Trump of running a white supremacist movement, a global one, by the way. It's unbelievable. It's beyond the pale. Then also on the 17th of March, the Times Live ran a poll for its viewers. Now, not a representative poll, but representative of some of their viewers. Is the expulsion of South Africa's ambassador to the U.S. justified? March 17th, 2025. Now, I give you the results of the poll not because I believe in the polls that are done this way online, but the point here is that it certainly contributes to the argument that those in support of Rasool and what he had to say about America and about President Trump are definitely in the minority. Questions were, or the answers to this poll, yes, his comments on Trump administration were inappropriate and deserve consequences. Or no, his expulsion was an overreaction and limits diplomatic freedom of speech. Well, 76% of those who responded said he overstepped his bounds. Less than 20%, 19.72%. No, it was an overreaction. Also on March 18th, not all is lost. Pretoria focused on resuscitating a relationship with Washington, says the presidency. Now, this is from the spokesman for the Office of Presidents, Vincent Mangwenya, and he said, he tried to calm things down a little bit. He said, we're at a stage where we've accepted that the U.S. has chosen to exercise its prerogative with respect to expelling the ambassador. That is a recognition that the United States was correct, and they're not going to challenge it. We're not going to spend our energies conducting a post-mortem on the reasons and the back and forth. Our focus is on how we move forward, and that's exactly what they should be saying in public. We have an important relationship that we need to maintain and reset. That's what we're going to focus on. Well, that's an excellent adjustment there after many politicians in South Africa attacked Trump and America over the first few days after this happened. Also on March 18th, basic respect, please. U.S. says Rasool's remarks were unacceptable. Now, this is after Tammy Bruce's press conference at the Department of State when she was asked questions about the expulsion of South Africa's ambassador. These remarks were unacceptable to the United States, not just the president, but to every American. At the very least, what we should expect is a standard of some respect, basic, low-level respect, if you're in a position that is going to help facilitate any kind of diplomatic relationship with another country. Those are the words of State Department spokesman Tammy Bruce. And this on the 20th of March. Ramaphosa is in no rush to appoint ambassador to the U.S. The president is going to take his time. The absence of an ambassador in Washington, D.C. does not mean an absence of engagements with the Trump administration. Equally, in South Africa, the U.S. has not appointed an ambassador yet, but we've been able to various levels of government to continue to have engagements with diplomats from the U.S. Embassy. That's very reassuring to hear the government spokesman for the presidency say that, because it means that they're turning down the temperature and reducing the pot to calm the boil so that these two countries can get back on track. At least that's what they're saying publicly. Hopefully behind the scenes, they're doing it. Now, notwithstanding all of this, there is a big rally in support of Ibrahim Rasool at the Cape Town International Airport on Sunday at 11 a.m. Many in South Africa are now toning down their hateful and counterproductive rhetoric, while those who are going to show up at this rally are in support of Rasool and what he had to say. The ANC's Dula Omar region welcomes Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool, encouraging Cape Townians to come out in solidarity of Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool on the 23rd of March 2025 at the Cape Town International Airport. Well, I'm curious to see how large that rally will be and just see how many people actually support his egregious offense. What Ambassador Rasool did was not make a mistake. What Ambassador Rasool did was not harmless. What the United States did was not an overreaction. This is a man who, in a public forum, knowing full well, having been an ambassador in America for 5 years previously, having worked in the same job, having gone through the training diplomats get, this is a man who, during his personal capacity, rubbished and attacked Donald Trump in the most violent and repulsive ways during COVID. And that is his prerogative as a private citizen. But representing 63 million South Africans, he has a responsibility to keep his emotions in check and to keep his negative comments about his host nation to himself. This wasn't challenging U.S. policy. This was an egregious, racist-based commentary about the United States and about our president. And he was wrong in every respect. It's good to see South Africans recognizing that. And hopefully this unfortunate incident will be forgotten about and Ibrahim Rasool will simply become a verb so that when your boss makes you redundant, when you can't get admission for something, when you're determined to be persona non grata, in future people are going to say, well, he got Rasooled. Anyway, folks, thanks a lot for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment behind. We appreciate it. Ibrahim Rasool has less than 24 hours to depart the United States at this stage, less than 24 hours. So he's leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when he'll be back again, if ever. And that's unfortunate. This was unnecessary, wholly unnecessary, but entirely the result of his actions and no one else's. What say you, South Africa? Cheers.